Nicole Smith
and Jesse Tucker
from Blood and Iron Martial Arts.
And we're here today to talk to you about preventing hand targeting. Today's video is all about how to avoid getting your hands hit, something which, if you know me, I could have used a lot more earlier in my career.
Now, hands do make for valid targets. If I disable what you use to hold and swing your sword, it makes it a lot easier for me to follow it up with something I can actually use to kill you.
Now, in HEMA, most of us have a day job that we're going back to, and we do this recreationally. So a lot of us have a gentleman's agreement where we tend to avoid targeting other people's hands while we're sparring them.
Now remember, not everyone's going to play by the same rules you do. If you don't practice to keep your hands safe, there's a good chance you'll leave an opening for your opponent to exploit.
So one of the ways that we can commonly run into problems with protecting our hands is with improper guard positions.
Hand positions that are too far forward are open to attack. And how many times have we seen guard positions like these?
Small adjustments to your guard positions are something that can really help bring your hands back out of focus for a target and protect them a lot better.
Much better. Now, even if you have a solid guard position, if you're throwing cuts leading with your hands, it can be a problem. If I come in with my hands first, it leaves me open to an attack.
Now, an easy way to correct this is by adjusting the way that you're throwing the sword as that cut moves. Rather than your hands, bring the tip forward at the beginning of the cut, which places the bulk of your blade and your guard in between that of you and your opponent.
Another problem that can present itself is arriving in your guard positions too quickly.
If I'm throwing a strike for Nicole's head or upper opening and she moves into a guard position too quickly, I simply change the focus of my attack and go for her hands or upper arms instead.
If I time my defense appropriately, I can arrive at my guard position in enough time to save my head and my hands. Much better.
So distance can very much affect how likely you are to be hit in the hands during a strike.
Now, in order to keep yourself safe, you might actually have to adjust how far you are from your opponent. This would suck. Much better.
So here at Blood and Iron, we've developed a partner's drill that you can train with someone in order to be able to better practice protecting your hands. One of the participants will be the attacker, and one is the defender will constantly be trying to ward off their strikes. If their hands are out of position, or if they're too quick, then what will happen is the attacker will lightly tap them on the hands in order to let them know.
Now, you can start with a set pattern and eventually move to a random one as you become more successful. And this is also an opportunity for the attacker to practice cutting angles and spotting openings. Remember, just because you're not the focus of the drill doesn't mean you don't have something to work on. Targeting hands is not part of our sparring, but it should be part of our training to defend against.
Forward hand positions, cutting with our hands leading forward, and coming to guard too soon are all things that we can work on in order to be able to avoid giving our opponents a free shot at our digits. The key to this is practice.
Or as we like to say, if you don't put in the training, you won't get the results.